Hey there, fellow photography enthusiasts. It's James here, your guide through the vast expanse of software space. So you've gazed up at the night sky, captured some stunning shots of the cosmos, and now you're wondering, how do I turn these cool snapshots into mind-blowing astrophotography images? Well, you're in luck because today I'm going to walk you through the best photo editing software for astrophotography. Now, before we dive into the star-studded details, remember that you can find links to all the products I'll mention right down in the description. Trust me, you're going to want to check those out. So whether you're just starting to dip your toes into the ocean of stars or you're an experienced astrophotographer looking to level up your editing game, buckle up. We've got some cosmic editing secrets coming your way. All right, let's get into it. So for those of you who are really into astrophotography, capturing those amazing shots of the night sky, the stars, the Milky Way, Adobe Photoshop is sort of the go-to software. I mean, it's incredibly powerful for editing, but let's break down why it's particularly good for this kind of photography. The first thing you've got to consider is the level of control Photoshop gives you. You can really get into the nitty-gritty with layers and masks, which is perfect when you're trying to bring out the best in those night sky shots. So for example, when you're dealing with noise, which is a pretty common issue with astrophotography, since you're shooting in low light, Photoshop's noise reduction tools are super handy. They help you to preserve the details in the stars without the image becoming, all grainy and whatnot. And then there's the color correction aspect. When you capture the night sky, the colors might not come out the way you want them to because your camera's sensor can interpret the colors differently, right? In Photoshop, you can adjust the hues, saturation, and brightness to really make those cosmic colors pop. And it doesn't just stop there. You have the ability to work with curves and levels, which gives you that really fine-tuned control to get the contrast just right. It's especially critical when you're dealing with galaxies or nebulae that have subtle color variances. Lastly, let's talk about compositional adjustments. Sometimes, no matter how well you plan your shot, you might need to crop or straighten it to get that perfect composition. Photoshop makes that all super easy. And for those of you who are into stacking images to reduce noise or bring out more detail, Photoshop's got powerful blending options that can help you merge those exposures without a hitch. So yeah, for astrophotography, while it might be a bit on the pricey side, Photoshop is pretty much the powerhouse that's going to give you the most control and best final product for your stellar photography work. All right, guys, so let's talk about Affinity Photo, especially when it comes to astrophotography, which, as you probably know, requires some really specific adjustments and controls to really get the most out of your starry sky shots. First off, the thing that I really appreciate about Affinity Photo is the pricing. It's a one-time fee, right? No subscription model, which can really add up if you're looking at other software options out there. Now, diving into the features, Affinity Photo has this super robust raw editing workspace, which is phenomenal for astrophotography. You really need that kind of control over your images to bring out all those subtle details in the stars in the Milky Way or, whatever celestial objects you're capturing. And the fact that it supports 16-bit editing is a huge plus. This means more color information and smoother gradients, which is crucial when you are working with images that have such high dynamic range and subtle tonal variations. Another thing that's really great is the noise reduction capabilities of Affinity Photo. Noise can be a real issue with night sky photography, especially since you tend to, boost the ISO settings to capture as much light as possible. Affinity Photo lets you tackle that noise effectively without smudging out those important details. And then there's the stacking feature that allows you to stack multiple exposures on top of each other to reduce noise even further. Super important for this type of photography. Lastly, I want to touch on the customization aspect. The interface is super intuitive and customizable. You can set up your workspace to suit exactly what you're doing. In this case, tweaking those astro photos. Plus, there are a ton of adjustment layers, filters, and live blend modes that allow for non-destructive workflow. So you can experiment without the fear of messing up the original image. Overall, I'd say Affinity Photo is a really strong contender for astrophotography editing for its price, its professional level features, and its one-off cost without those pesky subscriptions. Definitely worth checking out, guys. All right, so today we're going to take a look at Capture One and specifically how it stands out for astrophotography editing because, when you're dealing with photos of the night sky, you've got some pretty unique challenges. So the first thing that really strikes me with Capture One is its color editing capabilities. You've got this advanced color editor and the color balance tool, and these are just fantastic for pulling out those nebulas and star colors without, oversaturating the rest of the image. And that's super important when you've got those subtle gradients and you want to maintain that natural look in the stars. And let's talk about noise reduction because, oh man, noise is a big issue when you're shooting in low light conditions, right? Capture One has this really robust noise reduction tool that lets you maintain the details without making it all, mushy or losing the crispness of the stars, it's amazing for when you're shooting at higher ISOs. And you can really zoom in and work pixel by pixel if you need to get that clean look in the sky. Now, dynamic range, it's key in astrophotography. With Capture One, there's this high dynamic range tool that lets you recover those shadow details and highlights really effective. It's kind of essential when you're working with images where you've got like a super bright planet or stars and then, almost pitch black sky. You can easily bring out details that are hidden in shadows without blowing out your light sources, which is pretty neat. Lastly, Capture One's tethering capabilities. Now, I know this might not be the first thing you think of for astrophotography, but hear me out. Being able to shoot tethered and then see your adjustments in real time on a big screen is a huge plus. It helps with focusing and getting that immediate feedback, especially when conditions are less than ideal, out there in the field. So yeah, overall Capture One is pretty solid for astrophotography. All right, folks, that just about wraps up our dive into the cosmos of photo editing software for astrophotography. I hope you found the insights illuminating and that they help you choose the right tool to make your stellar shots truly out of this world. Remember, all the links to the products we chatted about today can be found right down there in the description. So definitely check those out if you want to learn more or grab a copy for yourself. And hey, if you're not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, the drill. That way you won't miss out on any future videos where we dive deep into the vast ocean of software. Trust me, there's a lot more cool stuff coming up that you want to miss. And if you have any questions or, you want to add something to the conversation, drop a comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I promise I read them all. It's like the highlight of my day, seriously. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. It really supports the channel and, it lets me know you're enjoying the content. And of course, make sure to check out my other videos too. I've tackled all sorts of software reviews and tutorials. So there's a good chance you'll find something else that piques your interest. All right, I've rambled on long enough. Time to let you go. Until next time, keep those astrophotos sharp and your editing skills sharper. This is James from 9to5 Software signing off. Take care and clear skies, everyone.